What's up, guys? I've been meaning to do a little DIY stealth camping vid, and along the way on the road I've been taking notes. So I pulled up at this beautiful spot here in Tas. Obviously don't need to worry too much about being stealth out here because there's just no one around. Stunning. But anyway, we're talking about suburban areas, spots where it's harder to camp. And yeah, so I'm just going to read these notes because I haven't really practiced this at all. I just wanted to get it on film. I feel like it's going to be the most fluid way to do it. The first point is about timing. So basically, when you're ready to go to bed, you need to know where you're going to be already, where you want to camp. Get everything done, eat, clean up the van, and then move to that location. Go straight to sleep. Be ready to get up early in the morning and get straight out. That way you've got the least chance of anyone, busting you or getting offended or fining you, which happens. So yeah, what I've got here is most nights I'll stay in a different spot, even if I'm in the same area. I change it up to make sure no one gets moody about me being there again. Another camper on the street. In this situation, I'll know where I'm going to stay in advance, so you can spend the evening at a nice location, have dinner, relax, whatever you need to do, and get ready to move to your spot to sleep. Next point, finding spots. So this is a bit of a skill in itself. If you're not already, you need to acquaint yourself with Google Maps satellite view. It's amazing for just being able to see potential spots. So you can scope out areas with trees, forest. If you're in really dense suburbs, things like industrial areas, as sucky as that is, it does the job when it needs to. Sports grounds, ovals, just recreation parks. If you're, like I said, in late, up early, it's all G. Also rivers and estuaries, boat ramps, often car parks where there's boat ramps. Fishermen will be out all night anyway, so there's people coming and going. It's a good option. Back to the Google Maps thing. With a bit of practice, you get really good at this. I've got it down to a T now where I can pick a spot in about 20 minutes and usually it pays off in the go. Next point, respect the locals. This is a really big one for me because a lot of people on the road just don't really share a thought for the residents, whatever area you're in, and I guess you just got to swing it around and look at, what if that was your house and someone was just partying and trashing out the front, so a little bit of thought goes a long way. What do we got here? If you're parking in front of someone's house, be prepared for the fact that they might not be that fond of you being there. And with any luck, they won't even know. If they do, and you have to interact, be as polite as possible, be friendly, compliment their garden, whatever you need to do to, just sort of break the ice. Even if they're going to be a Karen about it, stay calm, apologise. Often people will come around pretty much directly as soon as you start, being polite and apologetic. So basic stuff, common sense. But yeah, often people are just on the defensive to begin with, so you got to be nice. Another similar sort of scenario, respecting location. So, like I was saying before, there's a bunch of bad eggs out there, but a bunch of bad travellers. Wherever they land, they like to take liberty. This idea that living the free life on the road doesn't mean that you're free to be careless and reckless. And yeah, it's cool to fuck the system, but it's not cool to mess with people and interrupt their lives. They take a lot of pride in where they are chosen to be there. In fact, the freer you are, the more respectful you should be, because I've seen vanlifers pull up in beautiful locations and just leave them an absolute mess. The actions of a few have ruined it for the rest. So it's best to remember that you're a visitor wherever you go. The land that you're on is not your land. It has history, it has culture, and it has community. This seems heavy, but all that I'm getting at is that it's important to be thoughtful of how lucky you are to be able to visit such beautiful locations at your own leisure. So just be considerate and offer just when you can in your own way. For me, I like to pick up rubbish, especially if I'm like in a coastal area. Obviously plastic, not cool for the ocean, so if I pull up at a beach spot and planning on stay the night, I'll just wander on the beach and pick up as much plastic as I can see in that little local area. It's a 5-minute job, but even though it may be the locals' rubbish that's on the beach, it's still just a nice thing to do. It's the right thing to do, I think so anyway. Moving on, check parking signage. Seems pretty obvious, but it's a really good way to talk your way out of a situation. If you have checked for signage and there is none, then you've got more chance of getting away with camping in that spot. So when you pull up at a potential spot, check the street for any parking signage. If possible, avoid parking in areas where you'll be exceeding the parking time limits. So for example, if a sign states 2 hours parking but doesn't stipulate 9 a.m. till 5 p.m, then it's not necessarily the best spot. That makes sense. But anyway, this is important in a situation where you're busted. Being in breach of parking conditions makes it easier for a ranger or officer to dig their claws in. Next point, dealing with rangers and officers. So far, I have never been hassled by police. As far as I can tell, the police aren't interested or responsible for handling free campers. That might not be 100% true, but if any of you have been busted by cops, please chime in, because I'd love to hear from you. But for me, usually it's been local council officers who have to do that dirty work. If you're in a national park, it would be a ranger. In most cases, you can plead ignorance. Once again, be polite, friendly, apologise. If you fire up, they'll fire up. It's basic chemistry. If you need an excuse, I was feeling unwell, didn't feel well enough to drive. I've heard a few people say they had a few drinks and decided that it was better to stay the night. I don't know how that works, because but it does. If you're near the beach and you get busted really early in the morning, you can say you were really keen to surf this spot and you came in late last night, had a little nap, just taking maybe you can see that, there's a little fire next to me, the wind's blowing. Point number, who knows? It's not always going to be a beautiful location. It's just sleep after all. As much as we want to wake up in an amazing location, it often doesn't work out like that. Convenience and privacy are often the priorities, and when you're super tired, it's all just about quick and easy. Some of the best urban sleeps I've had have been in industrial areas. It's not pretty, but it's sleep. And then you're moving on to go about your day in wherever you want to do it. Maybe something like this. That's the end of my notes. It doesn't really have a conclusion, but yeah, I think I've covered all the bits I wanted to cover. It's January the 1st. Happy New Year. Thanks so much for anyone who's been following along in the journey. I'm going to be in Tas for probably about a month. I'm on the west coast at the moment. I'm going to go meet some friends. Well, I'm kind of central, but I'm heading around the west coast. And then I'm going to meet some friends in Hobart on the 13th. And then we'll probably head back to Adelaide for a bit. The van needs a deep clean and a bit of paint here and there. Tons of friends back home I need to catch up with. I miss you all. Mwah. Peace. Oh, one last thing. I wanted to apologise because there's been some huge delays in me putting out content. There was a bit of what I like to call the mid-Vanlife crisis along the way, but all is good. Tassie has really brought it back for me. This place is incredible. I can't, there are no words. But 2021 is going to be a big one. I'm going to be pushing hard. I might do a little bit more of this freestyle type content. We will see what happens. Let me know if you like it. If you don't already, please subscribe to the channel. I'll show you one more last go at this view.